Hello YouTubers, it's me Paula and welcome back to my channel. I'm here with my little cat Asha who's just sitting purring away here, that's the noise. So today I'm just going to sit and talk about something I'm going to talk about Slimming World. So I'm thinking to go back on Slimming World. Now I'm not going to go on it until maybe a week and a half. We're going away on holiday, so there's nothing worse than going away on holiday if you're doing Slimming World or any other kind of diet, because let's face it, you're not going to stick to it possibly, or you're going to have a miserable time because you want to have a little prosecco on holiday, or some nice food and things like that. Oh, she's cute, she's lovely. So backstory, I lost about a stone and a half early on this year, which was great. So, I was really, really slim and skinny up until my early 20s, about 6'8", size 6'8", UK. And then, over the course of sort of uni and job and everything like that, first job, a bit of stress with the job, because I was starting off as an English teacher. I'm a support for learning teacher now. I work with children with like dyslexia and dyspraxia, things like that. Autism. But at the start when I was doing English, I was quite a young teacher. I was only 23, so I ended up eating a lot, putting the weight on. I think as well, I didn't do much exercise at that point. I kind of had the old skinny girl impression of myself, that I'll never put weight on. I'll be, the size. I don't need to do exercise. And of course, my metabolism slowed down, put the weight on like a lot of us do in our early 20s. So I lost a lot of the weight. I went down to back to size 10. I went to the gym, worked out, went on a bit of a diet. Didn't really know what I was doing with diets then. I kind of just winged it, but having the time to go to the gym, before I had kids and that, I was able to do that. Now, between getting married, so when I got married, I went up a little bit to about size 12, and just before I had my first child, lost the weight again after I had him. Put a bit more weight on again when I had my middle child. You know the story. Lost it a bit. And then put quite a bit of weight on before I had my daughter, my third child. And actually lost the weight with the breastfeeding and everything. And then over the course of the last sort of 4.5 years, I've kind of piled the weight back on again. So when I went to Slimming World, I was about size 14 and I weighed, I'm 5'4.5". A generous 5'4.5", and I weighed in at 11.5 stone, which it was 11 stone 8.5 pounds, which I was a bit like, oh my god. I kind of knew it. I knew it in myself, that I'd put the weight on, and I knew it wasn't going to be a number I wanted to hear, but I was like, okay, it's time's to do something about it. My little girl now, she's 3.5 at that time that she was 3.5. It's not an excuse now that, I've got a baby. I need to start getting on with it. I'm in my 40s. So I went to Slimming World, thought it was fantastic, and lost. But I started off in the beginning of December, which is a bit crazy because it's Christmas time, isn't it? And you want treats and everything. But I stuck it out. And by the March, I was down to just over 10 stone. So it was about 10 stone, 1.5 pounds. I think that was the lightest I got down to. So I was really, really pleased with that. But then life gets in the way. You start doing things, you've got holidays, you say, oh, just miss it for a few weeks, and then you don't go back. So I have had a gap of it since about maybe April, May, right up until now. Now, I'll just weigh myself now because I realised I was putting a bit of weight on again, and I've put on about 7 pounds, I think. I've tried to weigh myself on my rickety scales, so, it could be a bit more than that, I don't know. I'm scared, I don't want to go and get... But I've found there's a group that started up near, about 5 minutes away in the town next to my town. So I'm thinking, okay, so I'm going to start going back to Slimming World. Now, I'm saying it here because I know if I say it here, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to stick to it. And start going back to doing a bit more of the gym and things like that. So it's a bit, it's going to take a bit of organisation because I work 2 days a week as a teacher, and I'm doing a part-time master's as well. So it's going to take me a lot of, But I'm going to try and do it because my goal was to get down to 9.5 stone. So I've got that stone to lose, I think. So yeah, I mean, it's not that, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot, but it's quite often they say when you're just down to your last stone, it's the hardest. So it is just a matter of getting motivated and going for it. I mean, I've seen people at my Slimming World that were amazing, like they'd been sort of 20 stone, they were down to 12 stone and things like that. It's a great, I think it's a really, really good company. I found that in the past, and I've tried to stick to diets, I've got bored with them. I've done the 5-2, I've done like the Atkins, that type of thing a little bit, and I never stuck to it. I got bored. I didn't feel motivated to do it. Things like the 5-2, you feel constantly hungry, and then you end up, I found, this is me anyway, I know that it works a lot for some people, but then on the days that I wasn't doing it, I felt like I could eat anything. I prefer having a consistent approach. That this is what happens every day. I also like the fact that Slimming World has lots of really nice recipes. I'm a bit of a foodie, obviously, because we usually are when we go to Slimming World, and I really enjoy the recipes. So I would say the advantage of Slimming World for me is that I like I know what to expect. I like the rules side of it, that you get, because I maybe should explain for people who don't know what Slimming World, how it works. So you get a list of free foods, and usually like they're vegetables and low-fat meats and things like that. And you can have as much of that, even things like pasta. And there's a lot of recipes that they give you online, because you can sign up, and when you sign up and go to group, you also get access to the online services, and you can check on there if something's a free food or not, which is really great. And a lot of the recipes, Slimming World recipes, will tell you what the sin value is or if it's free. Okay, so I'll get to that later, the sins later. So what happens is you get a lot of free foods that you can fill up as much as you can. They try and recommend that you have more like the vegetables and salads and things like that. And then you get something called a Hex A and Hex B. So you get, I'm going to have to check up on this because it has been a while since I've done it. But I think now you get 2 Hex A's a day, and that can be things like, they'll give you particular servings of this, but it could be things like milk, dairy, other dairy, things like cheese, different types of cheeses, and other things like that. And Hex B tends to be more your wheat types based products like cereal, bread, that type of thing. Anyway, so if you're interested, have a look on the Slimming World website. Now, in addition to that, you get to have 15 sins a day. Now, 15 sins is not 15 treats. It's not as good as that. You get sin values for pretty much everything. So even things like butter and jams and all those type of things, but also for your treats, things like Mars bars or whatever, they'll give you a sin value. Now, you get 15 sins a day, and the best thing is to keep a track of what you've eaten. In fact, actually plan what you're going to eat. And then if you do that, if you stick to that, you will lose weight. Or most people will lose weight. If you cheat at it, you're not going to. There's so many times where you go and you think, oh God, I've only lost half a pound this week, or I've lost a pound this week, or I've not lost anything. And quite often it's because you haven't stuck to your sins. So I like the real side of it. I love going to group. I think one of the reasons I didn't stick to it because I stopped going to group so much. And I think going to stay to group. So you do your weigh-in, and then you can either just go or you stay to group. You pay for it anyway, so you might as well stay, take some time for yourself. They give you great tips. It's a great form of solidarity. And it's not like, I think a lot of people are afraid that if you go into group, you're going to get judged and people are going to say, oh, you've put on a pound this week, or it's not like that. Okay, so, they're very supportive. If they'll read it, they'll say, they won't read out your weight. They won't make a big deal of it. But when you all do your weigh-in and you have a chat, and then they'll go around the group and say, oh, well done, such and such lost 4 pounds this week, well done. And if you have put on, they won't say how much you put on, they'll just say, oh, you had a little bit of a gain this week. And you might just discuss why you thought that was. Maybe you just thought, I can't be bothered with it. No one judges you. Or you might just say, look, I had a party this week I had to go to. And they might just give tips of what you could do or cheat things that you could have done instead. Like, oh, if you had to go to Costa for a coffee a couple of times, or you could have had it like with this particular thing rather than that particular thing. So it's really good. And the girls are lovely. And actually we had a few men that went as well. And you know what? It's not... I think everyone worries about going to group to start with. I mean, I was so nervous when I went through the door. I thought, what's it going to be like? I'm going to have to weigh in front of people or whatever. And it's much more discreet than that. And actually, people are just lovely. And you get every sort of person there. You get men and women. You get really younger people who are in like maybe early 20s, teens, right up to people who are like, my mum's age and older. You get people like sort of 70s go there. You get people of all different stages of their, as they put it, journey. I kind of, you know what I mean, the journey. So you get people that are actually coming there and they're quite significantly overweight, but well done for them because they're making that first step to improve things, and I think that needs to be applauded, so I think those people are the bravest. They're coming in and saying, like, I want to do something. But you get people as well who are in the middle of it. They've lost quite a few pounds, they've lost maybe a few stone. There's some people as well, they've got to their goal weight, but they come in just to make sure they're maintaining it. And some people, there's a lady that was there, been going for years, my one. She's very slim, but she came to give support to her husband and to give support to other people and some advice. So it was, it was really, really good. And motivational, and I really enjoyed it. And like I say, enjoy the recipes. You can also use a Pinch of Nom book if you've got the Pinch of Nom, which gives fantastic recipes as well. And there's, they don't say it, but they are pretty much Slimming World compatible. And they teach you tricks as well, things that I had no idea, like using the 1 cal spray for your cooking. I didn't even really know what the 1 cal spray was, but it really does work. And things like, using 3% fat beef and other meat products. I was thinking, God, you won't be able to have mince on Slimming World. You won't be able to have spag bol on Slimming World because, the mince will be really high fat. But no, do you know what? The 3% mince is, you can use it in Slimming World. It's brilliant. And, it doesn't taste any different, I don't think, to having a full fat mince, and it really makes a difference. And like I say, for me, it worked. I was doing some working out as well, but not intensely. And I lost, like I say, 1.5 stone in, like I say, in about 4 months. And I did have times where I had treats, with like Valentine's Day, with things for Christmas. I'd started like my husband's birthday. It was coming some days that I just, you around about the time of the month and you're wanting a bit of chocolate or something. But I generally did stick to it. So that's what I want to do. So I'm not going to give you an update on it next week or the week after because I won't have started it. I'm going on holiday. And like I say, there's absolutely no point in going to Slimming World just before you go on holiday because you're not going to stick to it. You're just going to be disappointed, or you'll have a miserable holiday and you'll be like, well, it's better to go in when you're motivated, saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to meal plan. Meal plan's key, actually. If you like cooking, you'll enjoy Slimming World. And if you meal plan, you'll have great success with it. So you're not nibbling away at stuff, going around buying stuff at the supermarkets to nibble it with because you're hungry, or you won't be like, oh, I sod it tonight. I'm just going to have a pizza because I haven't planned what I'm going to eat. Planning's good. Get your shopping, order your shopping online or whatever, get it at the beginning of the week, and then, make sure you know what you're having, and you're less likely to fail. Well, I don't like the word fail, but you know what I mean. You're less likely to give up on it. Other thing I would say as well is to kind of plan your sins. I'll show you another time, but I've got like this little jar that I bought that says Paula's Sins on it, which I got when I was doing it before, and you can put your little treats in it, and that's what your treats allocation is for the day. I know it sounds a bit kind of rulesy, but you're less likely to say, oh, I had a Mars bar, oh gosh, that's like 30 sins or whatever, and then you've blown it, and then you're like, oh well, I might as well just have a bag of crisps and I've blown it anyway. You're less likely to do that if you are sticking to it. But anyway, so if this is a kind of, if you're interested in sort of this kind of video, seeing how I'm getting on, let me know, drop down a comment down below, see if you'd be interested in hearing more about that, because I was going to do maybe some recipes. I was going to maybe do some tricks that I managed to pick up from other people. Yeah, so that's it just now. I'll keep you updated if you're interested, and I will speak to you later. Bye bye.